Bendis?
Yes.
Councilman Carter?
Yes.
Councilwoman Day?
Yes.
Motion carried.
We own a school. Next up, item 11E is to receive petitions to repeal ordinance divisions marijuana, section 26-295, prohibition of marijuana establishments, and approve an ordinance to allow one marijuana dispensary. On November 13th, 2023, a local proposal petitions were submitted to the city clerk requesting the following: to repeal the city of Algonac's ordinance division 5 marijuana, section 26-295, prohibition of marijuana establishments, and approve an ordinance to allow one marijuana dispensary licensed with the state of Michigan as a revision center offering both medical and recreational marijuana to be located in a commercially zoned district within the boundaries of the city of Algonac. The city clerk has verified the petition submitted containing 353 valid signatures, which meets the minimum signatures required. Consequently, in accordance with city charter section 7.10, the petitions are to be presented to city council at their next regular meeting. The city council have 30 days to do the following: 1, adopt the ordinance as submitted by initiatory petition. 2, repeal the ordinance or part thereof referred to by a referendum position. Or 3, determine to submit the proposal provided for in the petitions to the electors. If city council were to choose options 1 or 2, the next step would be to have the city attorney draft a new zoning ordinance. The ordinance would first go to planning commission for review and a recommendation to city council. No public hearing is required. The planning commission is then to enter the planning commission recommendation is then introduced at the first city council meeting and adopted or denied at the second city council meeting. If the city council were to choose option 3, the proposal would be submitted to the elector to decide at the next scheduled election on Tuesday, February 27, 2024. If the further proposal failed, no further action is needed by the city council. If the proposal is approved, the next step would be to have the city attorney draft a new zoning ordinance and follow the same procedure noted above. Proposal language is due to the county clerk no later than December 5th, 2023. Also, Attorney Jim Downey is here if council has any questions. And can I have a motion, please?
I make a motion to submit the proposal provided for in the petition to the electors to decide at the next scheduled election on Tuesday, February 27th, 2024.
Support.
Comments, questions, concerns?
If I could, Mayor, for Attorney Dunning, what's the difference between 1, adopt the ordinance as submitted, or 2, repeal the ordinance or part thereof referred to by referendum your petition?
If you were to elect option 1, you're actually accepting the language that was on the petition.
Okay.
To elect option 2, you're giving, I guess, half a loaf to the petitioners and that the ordinance is being repealed, but retaining control to draft language that the council would review and later approve.
So they would still both go to the planning commission, or just if we do
Yes.
number 2?
They would both go to the planning commission, because there would have to be an accommodation for where such a site would be located, which because of our ordinance right now that prohibits them,
Right.
there hasn't been any thought given to that.
You know, I'm just gonna give council my opinion and now, or would you rather wait till everybody else's? I mean, you know,
No,
I
go
talk
ahead.
as I always
Go.
do.
Go.
You know, I've stayed up nights thinking back and forth about this, you know, I'm kinda a little bit, conservative and old fashioned in my age. However, I don't think I have the right to control what people do in their house and what they buy and what they spend their money on. This is gonna pass. Referendum's gonna pass, okay? So, we can politically be careful and put on a ballot, or we can just handle business now and give it to the planning commission and start working on how we're gonna best have this fit. And again, I guess my opinion has evolved over time in talking to people. I would say, I would ask council to consider item 2. I'm fine if we vote for item 3, but why kick the horse down the road, or whatever that saying is, when we can just handle business and be done? That's my opinion.
And in my opinion, this is a citywide issue, and I I think everybody in the city should have an opportunity to have a say one way or another, before we move on. I would like to know I would like to know where the majority sit.
I agree with Mayor Pro Tem Martin. I would like to have it go to the people, let the people decide.
Hello, what you got me? I got a few, actually. Let me ask you this first, because I know we had discussed before about, having you start looking into drafting an ordinance. Now, let me ask you this, if we were to say, okay, we're going to let this go to the voters, can we, in the meantime, write an ordinance?
Yes, actually, I've had discussions with Mr. Gerstenberg about this. I think that if it is the will of the council to put this to a vote of the people next year, it allows administration an opportunity to, dig in on other ordinances that similar communities have adopted, to look at, zoning issues, you know, and I just think that it gives us a little bit of time to prepare. If, as Mr. Bennett suggests, it's going to pass, then we've got more time to ramp up to that rather than getting to it tonight.
Right, and like, because, and correct me if I'm wrong, if we were to let this go to the voters and we write an amendment to that ordinance, they wouldn't be able to change the language of what's on that petition. Say we write it, because what they're asking for is to amend the ordinance as it is today.
Well, it's to strike the ordinance on
Just
strike
strike
the
the whole.
prohibition, and then we've got to draft an ordinance that would, accommodate their desire to have a dispensary in town.
So if we were to have you write an ordinance, they aren't going to be able to tell us to change that ordinance. It would be a moot point.
They'd have to do the whole petition thing again to change our ordinance if we pass another.
Which brings me to my next. The only other, we would be the second in the county to allow for dispensaries. The other one is Port Huron. Those were both put, on the ballot by a referendum, by an outside referendum. They had put one out there and it passed. Then the residents or the political action committee behind it didn't like the way the ordinance was written as far as scoring and who was given the license and who wasn't. So they had put it back on the ballot for the second time within a year. I'm trying, so residents understand, this can be a litigation nightmare when it comes down to licenses. Cause we're gonna allow for one, regardless if it passes or if we decide to take care of this before it gets done. My concern, either way, is that we have one license. They're fighting, they've got, what, 3 in court right now? Now they're going to Court of Appeals, they lost it in Circuit Court. This could take forever in court over one license, because somebody is not going to like the scoring and say that you guys messed up the scoring, we should have gotten this, and they'll file a lawsuit like that. This is the only thing that concerns me. Like Mike said, it's gonna happen. Now it depends on how we are going to deal with it proactively, so we are not forced into a position where we don't have control and someone else is telling us how to do it. So, wasn't a question, sorry.
Anyone else?
Yeah. It took just a very short time to get 353 plus signatures in just a few days, so this is going to pass. And I agree with Councilman Bimbas and Councilman Dillon. I think that, we could protect from the litigation and problems. I'm in support of option 2, just to get this moving.
That would have to, my understanding, Mayor, and correct me if I'm wrong, that would have to, be, Ms. Davies.
Ms. Davy, you have to rescind her
Changing her
motion.
motion.
We have a motion of support for option 3. As you look at this, do you see this being very litigious?
Anything's possible, I guess, my view is that to the extent that the inevitable can be delayed, some of the issues that might arise that could cause litigation might be smoothed out or addressed, if the city's given more time to prepare, for what that's my take on it.
Yeah, and that's why we need to make sure that we've got.
All right, so we have a motion and a support for option 3. Can I have a roll call, please? Is there any other discussion before I ask?
We were discussing maybe to.
Well, you'd have to
You'd have to rescind your motion, and then another motion would have to be made for number 2.
You guys are killing it.
I mean, either way is fine,
So are we voting on
Well,
option 3?
well, we're gonna,
Unless you rescind your motion.
Mr. Downey, do you have a recommendation?
Yes, my recommendation would be that it be put to the electors. I think it serves 2 purposes. Mr. Martin points out, it does allow everyone to say so, and as Ms. Davies pointed out, I think the putting it in the new year allows the city more time to address potential areas of litigation.
I'm good with that.
Okay. You good?
I'm good.
You go with the original
Yep,
motion?
I'm good.
All right. I will call for a roll call.
Councilwoman Harris.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Martin.
Yes.
Councilman Bendis.
Yes.
Councilman Carter.
Yes.
Councilwoman Davies.
Yes.
Mayor Gillis.
Yes.
Motion carries.